Welcome to episode 1, Bottled Up, your must-see podcast going forward in 2026. With me today, my co-host, Jermaine Stone, a.k.a.
The Wolf of Wine.
The Wolf of Wine.
A.k.a. the Czar of Vibes. A.k.a. Young Thanos, because I'm out here collecting Infinity Stones. This is an Infinity Stone, by the way.
Out here collecting Infinity Stones.
That's right.
I don't collect Infinity Stones.
Because you got so many already.
And what else? Go on with more nicknames for
A.k.a.
you.
the Lost Son of Tulsa, because I'm the man out there. A.k.a. the Lost Son of Burgundy, because we throw parties in 1,000-year-old
First episode
castles.
is 30 minutes, just Jermaine's nicknames.
Just names.
Just nicknames, just your name. Go on.
A.k.a., still waiting for my Posner burger,
Oof, we're going to get there. We're going to get there later. The other co-host, Daniel Posner, a.k.a. Nothing. Wall Street Journal said one of the most influential wine retailers in America.
Ooh, talk your shit, Dan.
Beyond that, 25 years, Grapes the Wine Company, White Plains, New York. I go back with Jermaine about 20 years.
20 joints, man. 20
I think back then he only had one nickname. I think you were just Showtime.
I don't
There was
need-
no
yeah,
Wolf of
yeah,
Wine.
yeah,
I think it was
actually,
just Jermaine, Showtime,
See,
Stone.
it's beautiful because guys like you are why I became the wolf. Like you know when the wolf
we don't know how to do
was
anything.
scratching his teeth. You know what I'm saying? This is exciting, man. I'm glad we doing this. This has been a very long time in the making. It's long overdue. We shouldn't have let the people wait this long.
This
So,
is the
here
People's
we are.
Choice podcast. Should we change the name? No longer Bottled Up.
Nah,
This is the People's Choice.
I mean, let the
It
people
will- it
decide.
will be the people's
If you guys decide that we should change it to the people's choice, then that's what it'll be.
And whether you tune in or not, we're going to keep rolling. Like,
Exactly.
We don't give a shit. It's going to happen. So with us today, we have special guest. Wine choice number 1 on episode 1, Ashes and Diamonds 2022 Napa Valley Cab. Kali Kamedi started this winery back in about 2017. He is from the Dariush family winery. Originally did his own thing, came back to Napa, started a winery with his wife. True story. In May, I visited the property. That same day, I had dinner with Jermaine, hence the a.k.a. Showtime, Wolf of Wine, Calamity, something. I don't know.
I got to come up with an AKA specifically for this show.
Yeah, and so do I. I mean, I'm just going to go with
We
Daniel
gonna-
Posner for
Yeah,
now. So
I'm gonna get you something. By the end of this episode, it might
You
be
took
in-
Showtime, so I couldn't take Showtime. So
you know.
wine, though, is actually made by Diana Snowden Sess.
The
very,
homie.
Very special relationship for Jermaine with
My
the Sess
sis-
family in
It's
Burgundy,
my,
and we're
my
going to get
sister
there, too.
right there.
So,
The lost son. So,
the lost son of Burgundy.
Yeah, so
that was
that's
the
my
6th
sister.
nickname, if you were counting up. So
Oh, yeah.
cheers. Let's
Cheers,
do
man.
this right.
Yes.
Episode 1, coming to you.
Cheers to you guys
More
at home as well.
nicknames in sight.
I gotta say, this is hitting.
Yeah,
This is really
so
damn
2022. I think a vintage to look out for in Napa. Based on what I've tasted, it doesn't have a lot of the cachet of great vintages. And Ashes and Diamonds, really a great winery to look for. I mean, this guy super generous, doing some amazing things. Very into food and wines. A great restaurant attached that's open. He has a real chef doing real things. And obviously hiring great wine talent. Sam Barron and Diana Snowden on this one alone. But he's doing things right. So why are we here? We are here because I started doing some podcast interviews. Jermaine's doing a whole lot of stuff we're going to get into. And I think people keep saying that we should do more stuff to get in front of more people. And you're doing a good job of that. I'm doing a very bad job of that.
Nah,
So this
man,
was the
listen,
best way for me to get in front of it. So I started talking to my wife about 6 months ago. She's like, you really should just do a podcast. And she's like, who do you want to be your co-host? And I said, I got a guy. I don't know what we should call him because he's got so many names, but I got a guy. I reached out to Jermaine right after we had dinner in May in Napa. Shout out to Fritz Hatton.
Yeah,
He was at
man.
dinner with some of my
Yeah.
buddies, Matt, Connor,
great
Nicholas.
freaking
That was
dinner.
a fun night we had at Connor's homestead down in Coombsville, Napa. We enjoyed some incredible wines with Fritz, and Jermaine joined us. And you were out speaking.
Yeah, I did a keynote for Napa Green,
Yep.
which was amazing. Also hosted an event that same night.
Is Napa still green? Is that?
Not these days.
Yeah,
Now,
not a
I
lot of
don't know.
green- not a lot of green in
Not
Napa.
a lot of
We're
green
gonna-
flowing through Napa.
lot of red. lot of red.
Yeah.
Not so much black.
Yeah.
And definitely
yeah.
not a lot of green flowing in Napa. I mean,
it's tough.
there's a few families in Napa with a lot of green.
Oh, yeah. But I had a great time out there. That was a fun dinner, honestly. And, it was one of those dinners that let me really realize why this would be such a great episode. Such a great show for us to do. You know what I'm saying? You're pretty
He's
funny
already
dude.
canceling us. He said episode. That's like a bad Freudian. He just canceled. This could be a great episode.
You
So
know
I'm going
what?
to be solo in a couple weeks, I think. Jermaine, it was great seeing you. Thanks for joining.
Pleasure's
But
all mine.
bottled up with Daniel Posner, a.k.a. I'm taking over Showtime, all right?
So, and now, I got to ask, man, I think this is great for the audience to know. Do you remember, like, when we first met? I don't know. It's kind of like you were just always around.
That's what my wife said. It's always lingering. Yeah, I think we first met, I'm guessing it was one of the either two places, but I believe it was at the old Westmoreland facility for the old Zacky's facility. I think I was doing a delivery myself and or a pickup, and I think we met in the warehouse.
Yeah.
And I think I probably tried to poach you a couple times from Zacky's, more than a couple.
I stayed down. I stayed loyal.
I believe if I go back in time, there's probably some text to Jeff Zachariah saying I'm taking this guy. I just can't figure out what to put name on his, W-2. But no, I think we met then, and the wine world is small, right? So you start meeting people over and over and over again. You link up with good conversations. You fast forward to about 2009 after, because you were at Zacky's a long time by then. You had left Zacky's.
I left Zacky's in 2013.
Okay, sorry. Yeah. So you're still at Zacky's in 2009. Legends in this business you've worked for.
Yeah.
And now you get to work with me. So
I've been around
really dropping down a few notches here. Really, like, you went from the Zacharias and the Wallaces and Christian Navarro to Daniel Posner. But so we did a cool thing in the store, and by then we had moved to White Plains. We were in Rye when we first met.
Yeah.
Very small store in Rye. I don't know if you were ever in the store. That's why I'm pretty sure we met at West.
I remember the Rye address.
Okay.
I don't believe that I went
11 Purdy Avenue.
Yeah.
I think the building is now officially torn down. It's being built up as mixed use like everything else. We were in Rye for 10 years, moved to White Plains in 2008. And it was about 2009 or 2010. We were doing a very cool collaboration with Will Tell and Sadat X from Brand Nubian.
Yep.
They were doing true wine connoisseurs. They were started filming shows, which was very cool and very innovative at that time in the wine world. And
it was unheard of.
It is kind of like, and we'll get to what you're doing now in the streets. It was almost similar to that sort of vibe. They were doing some cool stuff, tasting wine. And Sadat X, Derek was a great guy, and Will's they're both great people, and Will's still in the wine business. And so they were filming episodes, and I reached out to Will, and I said, you should film an episode at Grapes, because they were just filming at other places, their own, whatever, nothing like that. And so they agreed, and I said we could do this whole thing. And I said, let's do a great wine tasting. We'll invite a lot of people, and I'll cook food.
Yeah.
And I did not get a permit from the Board of Health for that, but back in the day, in the old Grapes days, particularly in Rye, we had a grill in the back, and I grilled like once or twice a week. I would make food for the staff all the time. I loved grilling.
I tried to tell y'all about them burgers.
And so at that show that we did, which is still somewhere, lives on YouTube, I guess.
Yeah.
True Wine Connoisseurs, I don't know, episode number whatever of season whatever. You attended.
Yeah.
And you had what had become known as a Posner burger.
Yes.
And the history of Posner burgers go back to my days going to Jets games. 17-year season ticket holder. Gave that up in 2017. But every week at tailgates for Jet games, I would make these burgers. The recipe was actually inspired by my wife. She came up with it, Joy. I modified it, and it became kind of my own. And that's what I would serve at every tailgate. I would serve at a lot of parties. And I served it at the True Wine Connoisseurs episode at Grapes. And you had a Posner burger, and it was like an epiphany for you.
And I've been back every week since asking for Posner burgers. That one time I've only got them.
We're going to bring out the grill again, and we will make some Posner burgers on this show. So once we start getting in some special guests and making it worth it for more, I could make up burgers for two. But
we get Sadat X back.
Yeah, we should get Sadat, and Will, when he's got some medical stuff going on, he just had surgery, but he's doing better. But yeah, happy to bring them back. So you were inspired by my burger. I would argue the first smash burger, by the way. I mean, I know people, like, it wasn't really the first, but around here in the New York area.
Yeah, nah, people weren't doing that.
I made them like meatballs, and I would smash them on the grill. And everyone's like, why do you do that? I'm like, it just tastes better. So that's a Posner burger. There's some special ingredients that go on in there. Great pairing with Napa Cabs, certainly. Yeah. Great pairing with anything, because, Posner burgers are just that good.
That's how they roll.
So that was our connect, and then we always remained very close since then as you evolved and moved on to all of your jobs and
wild stuff,
and wild stuff, all those late night parties in Burgundy that you have now. And I'm still here. So maybe at one time we're equals, and you've gone here, and I'm still here. We've watched our kids kind of grow up together-ish in the time period. You've got one in college. I've got one in college. Then you skipped a few years, and you took
some time off.
You took some time. You took some time off.
So on hiatus.
So it's not such a bad thing. But so here we are.
Yeah, man.
So Bottled Up is all about talking about our stories, our life stories, and the wine business, and how it relates to everything else in the world. And Jermaine's done a great job of linking it up in his world with music, specifically hip-hop. You're literally doing tours all over the world promoting wine and hip-hop, which is kind of wild. And I've been doing like wine with collaborations with obviously the Jets. I'm doing a whiskey thing, if you've watched, I'm sorry. And then we're doing a lot of other things on our social media channels, wine and what they pair with television shows and actors years and whatever. So we're trying to find a path forward for our industry because I think even though people say everyone always drinks, it's not really true anymore.
Yeah, definitely not.
You know, and you've got situations now where you've got dry January, right? Is a full month off for a lot of people.
I take dry January off as well. I mean,
I can't even believe I'm sitting
when
here.
I say take it off, that means that I don't subscribe to dry January.
Oh, all right. Cheers to that. Thank you.
Oh no,
this was going to be the last episode.
No. I don't believe, like, you know, not drinking's for quitters.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And I ain't no quitter. But you have Sober October
Yes.
now, which, you know, 2 months where people are pushing others not to drink and totally respectful not to drink. We don't want to encourage overindulgence, but wine specifically is a part of culture.
Totally.
You know, anywhere you go in the world.
It's Jesus' first miracle.
Jesus' first miracle.
It's been since the beginning of time. Like, come on.
And there was time before Jesus, you know, right? As a Jew, I say that. You know,
and they had wine then too.
Yeah, of course they did. Of course they did. And I think, you know, wine is a part of all that. It's a part of meals. It's a part of family. It's a part of celebrations, which doesn't have to relate to sparkling wine. But wine is a part of our culture that we seem to lose its grip on right
100%.
now. I know you and I, and there's a lot of other people doing a lot of great things in this industry, trying to bring that back. And there's just a lot of hurdles against us. And it starts obviously with the whole movement of, you know, dry months, non-alcoholic stuff.
And don't get me wrong, I'm not even trying. I'm playing around. I'm definitely going to continue drinking through January as well as October. And I think that show like this is important for us to speak about these things. This is why it's bottled up, right? This is the shit that you want to say, but you don't really have the platform to say, right? But it's about moderation, man. You don't have to just, I mean, if you don't want to drink, please, nobody's got a gun to your head.
Totally respect.
That's totally fine. But if we're talking about, oh, you know, people are drinking too much or drinking is unhealthy, everything's unhealthy, man. Like, just do it in moderation. You know, you don't got to be slamming back 3 bottles a night or anything. Honestly.
Not that there's anything wrong with that, by the way. But, you know, if that's your thing.
If that's what you do, that's
just what you do.
But, like, for example, I barely drink at home, to be honest with you.
Me too, 100%.
You know?
I think as we've gotten older, we're similar ages, and I don't drink much at home.
Yeah. So it's like, it's totally fine, but it's just about moderation.
Yeah.
Man.
And I think it's just about encouraging it to bring it back to a full circle moment where we realize it's not the enemy. And I think as I have 3 children who are now all in their teenage years, and now my oldest is officially 20 years old, Abigail. Shout out to Abigail, college student at College of Charleston. And my other 2 are 15 and 14. I've been doing this 25 years, so well before they were born. And you have to teach them, Daddy's not the devil. I'm not a drug dealer. It's important for people to realize, like, wine is not the enemy. There's a lot of hurdles, but wine is cultural. It's really an important part of everything we do. It should be a part of everything we do at some level. And just realizing, you know, when you go back, we're approaching prohibition times in some ways. When you look at all the reports of consumption being down the lowest levels in the U.S. since the 1950s, it's scary times to be in this industry. And I think coming here on this, we want to encourage people to drink. We don't want to encourage you to overindulge, but drinking's okay.
Exactly.
And everything in moderation.
What's your take on non-alcoholic wine?
I mean,
episode 1. This is a safe space. This is a safe space.
I don't even know how to cross myself. So, you know, NA, again, has a bit of its part right now. The problem with non-alcoholic wine for me is, and I've tasted more than a few, they basically all suck. To make non-alcoholic wine, you are stripping out not only the alcohol from the wine, but the alcohol imparts the flavors into the wine. I went to a conference last year where we lined up, and there was a couple of them that were like $75 a bottle.
Right. Oh, shit. Man.
Yeah. And it was not the right place to be tasting those wines because it was all wine retailers, basically. And we're like, well, what the hell are we doing here tasting this? And in New York State, we're not permitted to sell this stuff right now, which is also another problem I have with it. But the reality is, it just doesn't taste that good. Unlike NA beer for people seems to have a hold. There's even NA hard alcohol these days. You met my buddy Matt out in California. He's got like a bar now of NA hard alcohol. He drinks. But in the summertime, as he says, he loves gin and tonics. You know, he's got 2 young kids, and I make fun of him when I visit his house, and we open up the fridge, and he's got every NA beer known to man, and then you go to the bar, and there's 3 different NA gins to try. But he's like, at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, I want a gin and tonic, but I don't want the alcohol. I haven't tasted it, so maybe that tastes a little better. I don't know. But the wines I've tasted, by and large, are not very good, taste-wise. But look, if it fits your narrative, great. It shouldn't be looked at, though, as one, from a health side of things, it's like my wife drinks decaf coffee. Now, I don't drink decaf coffee. I have occasionally if I need to, but my wife loves the taste of coffee. She gave up caffeine 20 years ago, more or less, except when needed. Shout out to her. Caffeine's obviously not the best thing for you. I avoided caffeine really up until my 40s when I got older and my hair got a little grayer, and I needed caffeine to work the days required in this lovely industry we're in. It's okay, but by and large, decaf coffee sucks too, taste-wise, right? I mean, it's not very good. I've tasted some of it. For me, it's about the taste. Like, I want to drink something. I want to eat something that tastes good. And I don't think it does.
So for me, non-alcoholic wine, I've had some NA wines that I've enjoyed. But I think that the marketing is off. It's like you can't give me vegan bacon. It's not bacon anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's something else. There are instances. So, for example, I usually, when I do drink wine at home, it's if I'm having a meal. I'm not the guy that'll just pop a bottle and put a show on. I don't do that. But if I'm eating something, and usually if it's something that I'm really looking forward to eating, then I'm going to drink a bottle of wine with it. Now, let's say I'm in a situation where I don't feel like drinking, but I do want something that's going to complement that meal. And I'm going to get the complexity that I would get from wine, from that NA wine. But it's just, I'm looking for something completely different. What changed my mind on non-alcoholic wine, because I was like completely against it for a long time. I was in this coffee shop. I'd go to this coffee shop and go work from time to time. They had this red fizzy drink in a can.
Sounds delicious. Red fizzy drink in a can.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I didn't want juice. I didn't want soda. Then they had this in a can. So I was there every day for a week. I was buying this drink every day. And it was delicious. I'm like, oh, this is cool. This is exactly what I want right now. One day I get home. I didn't drink it at the cafe. I get home. I take this thing out of my book bag and I look, and it's non-alcoholic wine. I would have never bought it if I thought I was buying wine. You see what I'm saying? So it's just the mindset has to change. It can be like the term mocktails. Like, yo, don't call it a mocktail. Just say that this is this kind of drink. It's just, don't give me the expectation that I'm coming in for this thing and now you're trying to trick me. I just think that the marketing around it has to change.
I think mocktail really plays into the under 21 generation, though, of the name, by the way. I don't think a 35-year-old walking to restaurants like, can I see your mocktail list?
Yo, listen,
I hope not, at least. But like my kids, on the other hand, when you go to restaurant, when you go to like fine dining restaurants and your kids are 12 years old or 15 years old. Well, yeah, and so that's all. Shirley Temple's really a mocktail, right? But so you want a glorified Shirley Temple, something else that makes them feel important too. Mm-hmm. Like it's okay. The name aside, I don't care about the name. I've never asked for a mocktail list, and if I ever do, you can we can end things. But for me, it's time and place, and I've yet to be wowed by an NA wine. I haven't said they're all quote unquote. When I said they were all bad, I kind of meant it, but kind of didn't, because I've tasted like some inexpensive Sauvignon Blanc and Chardonnay, and those are fine. I had a Rioja once, I remember. I was like, okay, like I get it. It's just not for me. Mm-hmm. And I do think if I'm spending even $15 on a bottle of wine, and I compare that $15 NA wine to a $15 like alcohol wine, by and large, the alcohol is going to win out, just from a taste perspective. Because when you really start looking at how they make that stuff, it goes back to your vegan bacon comparison. And some of this stuff is not made in the best way. And we're not being thoroughly honest with people when we're doing it, because everything starts here and then you're bringing it down here. And how do you get from here to here? You don't want to know. Right? Like you right? How
and it becomes baloney.
Spam. That's how you get into a can of spam, right? And so that's some of the struggles with where we're at. We're going to get into the weeds a whole lot more in future episodes on a lot of this stuff, but we're here at Bottled Up to get you drinking, to get you comfortable drinking, to get you understanding. Hopefully we're going to educate you a whole lot more about wine, but we're going to educate you a whole lot more about why wine is part of our culture and why it should be part of your culture.
100%.
And Jermaine's going to talk more about my burgers at every episode, because they're that good.
One day, if I keep mentioning it, we might have some Posner burgers here. I don't know.
I think I invited some Jet Games, and he said no, I'm sure, because it was always at Jet Games. It's hard, because in my house, there's onions in there, and most of my family doesn't like onions in their burgers, so I rarely get the opportunity to make them, but I will happily.
You know what? I wasn't an onion guy until I had a Posner burger.
There you go. So I think with that, This is where we're going to go. And we don't even know where we're going to go.
It's going to be to infinity and beyond, basically. That's where we're going.
Thank you for joining us in episode 1 of Bottled Up. Daniel Posner, Grapes the Wine Company.
Jermaine Showtime Stone.
He's going with Showtime in episode 1.
Yeah.
Look for more episodes and make sure you tune in. Cheers.